Welcome to a new episode of the Guru's Perspective, and I am your host, the Guru himself. I got a lot of things to talk about, and there's a possibility that I might not be able to get everything discussed today, and we'll have another day to do a show. I was thinking about maybe Friday or Saturday, first and foremost, before I really get into that. I would like for you guys to let me know what you think. Hit me off in my comments. Let me know if I should do another show because there's a lot of news and things that I've seen, like the whole Penn State situation, what's going on there, the whole NFL situation with the college, the back and forth, like if a college player goes to the NFL, enters the NFL draft, and once they do enter the draft, go through everything, the protocols, and even play in the several preseason games, it's still a possibility if they get cut that they can go back to their NCAA team or sign with an NCAA team. Crazy part about it is too, I just got up today and seen something that was saying that the Big Ten themselves is saying if you go to the NFL, go through the combine, go through the draft, whether you're a high pick or undrafted player, and go through the preseason, they're not allowing none of these people to come back in the league. Hell, if you just go to the draft and be drafted by an NFL team, the Big Ten is not allowing you to come back to college. I don't know why right now the SEC is doing it. Lane Kiffin's name has been on it and it's been really nasty right now. I understand because it's a lot of kids that's not going to get drafted. And they feel like if they're not going to get drafted, rather than be undrafted and try to make a roster or be on a practice squad, to try to go back to college, at least try to make a couple of dollars at least and get like that fifth year option. Some guys are even playing in college just 28, damn near 30 years old, and it's getting ridiculous. It's something have to be fixed about this. It's a thin line right now that needs to be addressed. And kids need to be kids. You don't have to have guys who play in college all the way to their adulthood, then try to go to the NFL for a while. But at the same time, with the NIL and people making money now, and these kids are getting paid, a lot of them don't feel like it's no motive because you're not really getting a lot of money those first few years in the NFL, especially if you're not a high round draft pick. So at this point, I would like to move on because there's still a lot that I will discuss soon. If you guys want me to do another show, like I said, hit me in the comments. I want to start off and talk about some of the things that have been going on in training camp right now. And the injury toll has been rising in New Orleans. The Saints, with Alvin Kamara likely to miss the start of the regular season, per ESPN Adam Scheffler. Kamara is expected to be on the sideline for at least 1 month, and that's a long time to be a sideline due to a sprained MCL. This comes off the heels of course, Jordan Tyson suffering a hamstring injury last week during the joint practices against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he's expected to miss 2 months. So, yeah, New Orleans got a lot to think about right now. Crazy thing is, I want to get into something else too, because yes, it's a lot of injuries in training camp, and a lot of guys are being sidelined. And I just seen that news, with one of the Texans, one of the guys that they felt like was going to be a breakout wide receiver, Jaden. I forgot his last name, but he was a promising kid, second year, and he was going to take a lot of the load off. Tank Dell and a lot of guys are coming back as well, and he got injured. I don't even think he's coming back this season. And so that's when I seen the whole Kayshawn Booty trade, that they ended up getting Booty. They ended up getting a safety in the draft pick, a 2028 late round pick. And you're going to see a lot of injuries and things in training camp. What I'm surprised about is a lot of the people right now, I haven't really seen who have high needs on their teams to go out and get some of the players that they need on their teams. I guess some of the teams are comfortable with what they have and moving forward, but I believe the beginning of the season going basically solidify a lot of teams right now who we think that they're going to be, and some teams are going to be in hella hot water early on. But at this point, I'm just going to enjoy some of the preseason games because right now the WNBA is not going to be on for a while. But until I get into that, I want to go back into the NFL right now in the training camp, and this is some unfortunate news. Chargers center Tyler Biadasz is out indefinitely after suffering damage to his ACL and additional injuries to his left knee during Tuesday's joint practice against the 49ers, perhaps Sheed and Adam Scheffler. And Biadasz is just not really looking good right now for the Chargers because he was just a person who they got from free agency that they thought that to solidify their team. And he will meet with more doctors to try to get more clarity right now. He's going to probably be out, if not half the season, the whole season. So I want to see where that story goes. Okay, I'm getting into it right now with the Texans wide receiver. My apologies. I was moving too fast. Texans wide receiver Jaden Higgins suffering a torn ACL during the joint practice against the Raiders per rap sheet. Second round pick, 34th overall in 2025 NFL draft from Iowa State. He had pretty good rookie stats as well: 41 receptions, 525 receiving yards, and 6 touchdowns in 17 games. His production is going to be replaced by Keyshawn Booty. I think that he's going to fit in well. It's funny for me to say that too, and I'd even have a little chuckle or anything, but I'm so used to saying his name because I've seen him do awesome things in New England. He was a breakthrough wide receiver. But at this point, I feel like with Romeo Dobbs and having AJ Brown and already having a really good like Kyle Williams and some younger wide receivers, they could afford to let him go, get some more depth on their team as well. So I wasn't really too concerned with this. I think it's an excellent move right now for the Houston Texans because we don't know when Jaden Higgins will be back. Will he be back in this season? But at the same time, New England got depth at the safety spot, and then they got a late round draft pick, which I don't really think they really even considered right now. They had enough receivers to where they didn't want to let him walk and they just want to get something for nothing, or they didn't want to let him walk and get nothing. Yes, I was right. They wanted to get something rather than not get nothing. Correction. Okay, some more news too. I was really happy to see this news because I do like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I definitely felt like it was getting a little ugly over there. Before it got too ugly, they ended up signing one of their better players right now. And that's two-time Pro Bowler Vita Vea and the Buccaneers reached an agreement on a one-year extension for $30 million, tying him to Tampa Bay for 2 more seasons. He gets $6 million in new money on this season, and talks between him and the agent, um, Colin Roberts of Excel Football, and the Buccaneers heated up for a minute. And then it resulted in an agreement. So I was just really happy to see that because I'm a huge fan of Vita Vea. I believe he's Tampa Bay draft pick who did well when they first drafted him. I'm like, why are they drafting this guy so high? But then when you see how good he was and how he anchored the defenses and how good they were with the Super Bowl runs, he's been pretty consistent. So first and foremost, congratulations on that deal. It was well deserved, in my opinion, as a fan of football. And for them basically keeping the guys in Tampa Bay for most years. Four-time Pro Bowl running back Nick Chubb, if you didn't know it by now, he officially announced his retirement from the NFL on August 21st, 2026. After playing 8 seasons, the 30-year-old stepped away following a career heavily impacted by severe knee injuries. Chubb finished his career as one of the only 4 running backs in NFL history to retire with more than 1,000 carries while averaging 5.0 per carry, finishing at a spectacular 5.38 average. He ranked third all time in Cleveland rushing history with 6,843 yards, trailing only Hall of Fame legendary Jim Brown and Leroy Kelly. Across 8 seasons, Chubb accumulated 7,349 rushing yards and 54 touchdowns. It's sad too, because when that man was healthy, he was very dangerous. He just suffered a lot of knee injuries. And when he left Cleveland, I was like, man, what is Cleveland thinking? But then you could see when he went to the Houston Texans, he was a shell of himself. And they thought that they were going to have Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon got injured. I think that was backup plan, but then he ended up not even starting as the running back. He barely played, and you could definitely see that he wasn't the same. And unfortunately, he had to get rid of I feel like he put himself out the game because he didn't feel like he was effective enough. But definitely, when you have those knee injuries and your knees give out on you, there's nothing you can really do as a running back because you definitely would be a shell of yourself. But I feel like he had an awesome career. Most people don't even last that long in the NFL. So congratulations on a really good career. Unfortunately, I just wish that he played for another team versus being on the Cleveland Browns so he can actually have better in his career. Dallas Cowboys quarterback Joe Mixon III completed 9 of 13 passes for 179 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions in the 34-13 preseason win over the Arizona Cardinals on Saturday, August 22nd, 2026. He added 3 rushing attempts, 2 yards, and a rushing touchdown. We knew Joe Mixon, us being guys who are from Michigan, we know him and we know what he's about. So at this point in time, I say, congratulations to him. He finally caught on with not just the deep ball, he was a great deep ball passer. His accuracy was there. They worked on him and his accuracy in Dallas, and you could see it because he looked really good. But at the same time, too, he's basically Malik Willis 2.0, no disrespect, which meaning he could possibly get him a starting job sooner than later. Somebody lose a quarterback in training camp or something of that nature would happen, which could happen, is possible. He could get that opportunity that Malik Willis is having right now in Miami. I think he's just that good. But sometimes we get a little bit too twisted in the preseason. But as we say, he was against most of those starters too, and he looked really good and he was sharp. He was pinpoint on his accuracy, and I want to see where that leads Joe Mixon to because we always know he had it in him. He was from Michigan. He was with the Michigan Wolverines at one point. He moved on to the Tennessee, and he showed all his arm strength and the combine. Now, when he went to New England traded him to the Cowboys. He's definitely getting the reps that he deserved right now. So let's see where this ends up at because now we know if Dak Prescott get injured, they have a more than capable guy right now who is a backup quarterback. And then I can't forget about Sam Howell as well, who's over there. Deshaun Watson is the starting quarterback, and we all know this now. A lot of people were upset. They thought that it was a circus, and they feel like the Cleveland Brown fans should ban going to the games now due to the fact that he didn't really do nothing to win that job, yet he gets the job at this point. And we know what it was. I didn't lose no sleep over it because it was the contract situation, the crazy $200 million guaranteed contract that solidified him getting that starting position, even though he didn't play worth a damn. They're looking at it like, man, you doing us justice right now because we're not going to let you sit and just be on the sidelines and not play when we giving you all this money. I don't know how much justice it is because he hasn't played well, but at the same time, you can't pay a person or give a person this ridiculous contract and don't put them in the start at this point. I didn't know this at first neither until I looked and I seen this online, and I was really intrigued with this one right here. Check this out, you guys. If you wasn't aware, the poison pill in Deshaun Watson's contract is a clause added during December 2024 restructure with the fully guarantee a massive $200 million for the 2029 season. If he remains on Cleveland Browns roster by the third day of the 2027 league year, March 13, 2027, the clause function as an intentional contractual tripwire designed by his former agent, who is the GOAT of all agents right now, to get this ridiculous deal done. Joel Corey and the salary cap tracker like Spot Track to force the team's hand. It ensures that the Browns must cut Watson before March 2027 deadline to avoid the trigger the catastrophic $200 million guarantee. Meaning, if he get cut right now, Deshaun Watson's dead money on that contract will be 86.2 million. So yes, this was one of the worst contracts I've ever seen. And on top of that, they're paying for it right now because he's definitely not giving them what they thought they were going to get. They thought they were going to get Houston Texans Deshaun Watson, and he's nothing like that. I've never seen a player that goes from his caliber of the starter who is on the cusp of being one of the top if he continued to play like he played consistently in the league history to being one of the worst and most ridiculous contracts we've ever seen, period. Moving on, I want to talk about some things that happen in the MLB right now. The New York Yankees had the second most home runs in MLB this season with 172, while also posting the second lowest team batting average, .229. The last MLB team to rank in the top two in home runs and the bottom two batting average was the 1916 Chicago Cubs. The Brewers, August 18th batting score 20 plus runs, pitching, toss at 10 plus K, shutout fielding, played errorless baseball in the first time in MLB history. Team has done all three in the same game. They pitched flawless. They couldn't miss the bat. Every time you see the ball, it was like that ball was hitting that bat, and they was going yard every single time. And they didn't make any errors in the fielding neither. I've never seen that happen in a game, and a team just beat someone so convincingly. This is why I know a lot of people might look at it like, well, it's the Dodgers, World Series to lose. But you have a team who was constructed from just their farm league. You had a couple of players come in for free agency, and you still have a really dominant team. That's why, yes, when you got teams like the Dodgers, Yankees, and Mets, and Padres who are able to afford to pay players, that's all fine and dandy. But at the same time, if you get the guys from the farm league to play well, and you don't have to worry about breaking the buck trying to pay all these deals for these super star players, it seems like that's one of the best ways to go now, getting people in from the draft and having people from within. And that's what you see with the Tampa Bay Rays as well, because they're not necessarily the best when it comes to getting free agents, but at the same time, they got some really good pitchers over there. Hopefully, Freddie Peralta pan out, but they already had good players from their farm league, like Junior Caminero and so forth. But it's just smart to go around that way. Most times, you don't even have to break the bank. Hell, I think they're like the third lowest payroll salary in MLB right now versus paying and breaking all this money and paying all these guys like this. And the reason why I'm saying this, the Brewers is the best team right now. Most times that don't really pan out when it comes to the playoffs. Depends on how good you're going to be in the playoffs and how far you're going to make that playoff run. But I think that they'll be okay. They're in good hands over there in Milwaukee. Fernando Tatis Jr. of the Padres is the first MLB player to hit multiple homers and rob a grand slam in the same game since Mike Cameron did so during a four-homer game on May the 2nd, 2002. Robbed my boy Maglio Ordonez of a grand slam in the third inning. So congratulations, man. Fernando Tatis been playing really good ball lately. Got a couple of home run robberies too. One a grand slam, one was like a home run that they thought was guaranteed going out the park, and he scaled the wall like not so fast. He's been very entertaining. He hasn't been injured, hasn't been getting into any trouble. He's just been playing the game like they should. And slowly but surely, the Padres has been winning a lot of games. So congratulations, Fernando. Last two starts for the Pirates, Brockton Ashcraft. 9 innings, 85 pitches, 8 innings on 80 pitches. He's the first MLB pitcher to toss at least 8 innings while averaging 10 or fewer pitches per inning in back to back starts since Greg Maddux from September 7th through 13th, 2000. So, congratulations, man. That means you've been doing your job and you've been effortlessly just getting players out and winning games. So, yeah, that's much respect. I don't think a lot of people understand what Braxton Ashcraft has been doing, because right now I'm saying he's from the Pirates, and it hasn't been like Skeens has been doing well too. I believe I looked at the MLB Network and they were saying too, and I'm not trying to say I'm the expert or anything, but when I seen what Harold Reynolds was talking about was his issues is people can see the ball before it gets to the plate now. Before, he used to hide the ball and you couldn't see it for so long. About the time he got it out of his mitt, that you couldn't even tell what the pitch was going to be. It comes on you and it runs up on you so fast. Now they're saying you could see it when he pull it out, and when he pulls the pitch, and when he throw the pitch, they already see the target and know why was coming and when it's coming in. And that's why I believe they've been hitting him at a high rate as well. So that's one of the things I would like to give Braxton Ashcraft credit for. On Saturday, the Reds won three hitters, recorded 4 hits, 4 runs. Ellie De La Cruz, 3 hits, 2 runs, and Sal Stewart is cycle with JJ Adderley. No other team tops of the order has reached these marks in a single game in the modern era. What I seen that, I said, I don't know, JJ Bleddy, but he's going to do good. But I don't think that he's going to get the cycle. I believe he's going to get everything, but he's not going to close out the cycle. We know how rare a no hitter is when nobody hits. I'm talking about no hits, period. That's one of the hardest ones. You could get a complete game shutout, but a no hitter is totally different. That's rare, but it's pretty rare too to get those cycles too. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's like 39 complete game shutouts and it's 32 cycles right now. So that just lets you know how hard it is. It's getting closer to the no hitters, but still not really that close, period, at this point. The Phillies have had 5 wins in the season after trailing with 2 outs and 2 strikes in the 9th inning. April the 1st, April the 30th, June 23rd, June the 24th, and just recently. That's the most such wins by any MLB team in a single season since pitchers were first tracked in 1988. Bryce Miller is the only MLB pitcher in the modern era to have his team lose by 15 plus back-to-back games and starts too as well. So that guy been getting dinged up, unfortunately. But I still feel like the Phillies are one of the most funnest teams to watch right now, because the Phillies just at first just seemed like they wasn't going to click and they was going to be sellers versus buyers. But then they just stepped up and Don Mattingly. And it's unfortunate too, because I believe that they was going to catch stride before their original coach got fired. It was just Don Mattingly. It seemed like he put that fire under those guys and they played like South. And that's the result of how everything ended, unfortunately, for that man. But at the same time, Philly's one of the most dangerous teams. And I just hope that this year that they prove it in the playoffs. I want to talk about some things, too, that happened in the NBA. It's been kind of quiet over there as of late. Klay Thompson joining the Miami Heat, signing a 2-year deal worth $13 million. That's official. And DeMar DeRozan agreed to sign a 1-year, $3.9 million deal with the Denver Nuggets. He chose Denver for a chance to contend and secure a key rotation role while still collecting $10 million guaranteed from the Sacramento Kings following his departure. So, that's a good move. I feel like that's going to be a move that a lot of people sleep on. But I give credit where credit is due, because I still feel like DeMar DeRozan is a good player and he got a lot left in the tank. So congratulations. I want to get into some more WNBA news now. I'm about to get into my WNBA before I close out. And then, like I said, man, if you guys want me to do another show, hit me up in the comments, because there's a few things still that I can get off my chest and talk about, like the Penn State situation, the NCAA, NFL, eligibility. And it's a few things that I can definitely still talk about, and, because unfortunately right now we don't have the Wednesday show, but I can definitely do a Guru Sports session either on that Friday or Saturday. So yes, let me know. All right, moving on. Aja Wilson is leading the league in points, blocks, shots, and field goals made, which only been done twice in the WNBA or NBA history. The other two times it was accomplished by none other than Asia Wilson herself as well in 2024, 2025. Simply put, she's definitely playing at MVP level. Asia is the only WNBA player to score 1K in a regular season, and she was 100 right now. As we speak, she was at the time 132 points away. I definitely believe she's closer now. The only other player that averaged more points in the regular season than 2026, Asia Wilson, is, of course, Asia Wilson in 2024. She averaged 26.1 points a game this season, and she averaged 26.9 in the 2024 season. And that was basically one of the highest that you've seen right now, all time. 11-time All-Star, Nneka Ogumawale. I said Nneka Ogumawale. My fault, you guys. Man, I've been saying her name so good, man. I knew I was going to stall one day. But Nneka Ogumake, correction, will retire following the conclusion of the 2026 WNBA season. She's announced Wednesday. Guma K was drafted in number one overall pick in 2012 by the Los Angeles Sparks. And 15 years later, she'll end her professional career as an MVP winner, 2016, and an 8-time WNBA All-Star select, and 11-time All-Star, which is tied for the second most in the league history. So, Nneka Ogumake, you've been awesome, man. You've been a really good role model in the WNBA. You just went about your game very professionally. So I'm definitely happy to really understand and know her name now and be able to pronounce it. But at the same time, just seeing her play and being able to see her play for the last 5 seasons has been phenomenal. So congratulations on your retirement. Sunday's game with the Atlanta Dream versus the Indiana Fever matchup averaged 2.6 million viewers on ESPN, making it the most watched WNBA regular season game or postseason game ever watched on cable. Viewership peaked at 4 million. That audience was up 178% from ESPN regular season average last year. League-wide momentum continues with ESPN WNBA broadcast averaging 1.4 million viewership in 25 games, up 16% from the same point last year. I definitely feel like this year was one of the best years in the WNBA, just all around basketball and just good professionalism as well. Reclaiming the WNBA rebound throne, Reese grabbed 3 offensive rebounds during the game, bringing her season total to 173 offensive rebounds. This surpassed the previous WNBA All-Star single season record of 172, which she initially established during 2024 rookie campaign with the Chicago Sky. Often criticized for her shooting percentage, Reese completely silenced detractors by averaging 9 from the field, including 2 of 2 3-pointers made, and finished with 20 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, and 3 steals. Reese became the first player in WNBA history to record a 20-point, 10-rebound game with 100% field goal percentage while making by making multiple 3-point shots. And she's the only one of the 3 players in league history to post 20-point double-double and 100% shooting, joining legend Nneka Ogumake and Tamika Raymond in 2004. Her nine performance set a new Atlanta Dream franchise record for the most field goals made in a single game without a miss as well. So as much as people do hate on that woman, man, I would like to give her flowers and say congratulations, Angel Reese. I got more things to say about Angel Reese as well. Angel Reese shattered WNBA history by grabbing a career high 26 rebounds in a single game yesterday, which simultaneously broke the all-time WNBA record for most rebounds in a single game. The historic performance also propelled her season total of 458 rebounds, passing Asia Wilson's previous single season record of 451 rebounds set in 2024. So as much as people hate on that woman, man, I would like to say congratulations from just playing lights out. And I knew that game with the Indiana Fever got to her because she missed that layup that could have gave them the win. And all she did was she took accountability, and she's been playing on a whole nother level the last few games that I've seen her play in. So congratulations for Angel Reese to quiet the critics. And not only that, but step her game up as well and been playing on a whole entirely different level after her, coming up short that last game with the Indiana Fever. Because missing that layup, I know she was definitely wasn't too happy about that. Indiana Fever guard Kelsey Mitchell set the WNBA all-time record with her 21st consecutive game scoring at least 20 points on August the 20th, 2026, dropping 27 points against the Dallas Wings. She broke the previous record of 20 straight games held by Aja Wilson. Man, she's holding all the records. The game stats, she finished with 37 points, 5 assists, and went a perfect 15 for 15 from the free throw line. Streak averaged 25.6 per game during a historic 21 game run. And I think she has more than that now. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's 23 games. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I definitely know that she hasn't got to the point where she lost her, momentum right now, period. She started off hot in them first halves, and then, she kind of just, do her thing in the second half. But I know she's very explosive. She's hard to maintain too. They say she's one of the hardest guards to cover in the WNBA, and I definitely see it. She's fast. She's elusive. You never know what she's going to do, and she's very twitchy of a player. While I'm trying to get her PhD too in teaching. So, yeah, man, that's something I don't think people really give that woman credit for. She's definitely one of my top MVP candidates. In the last 16 games, Olivia Miles has made 43 pointers with the Minnesota Lynx, going 15-1 over the span. She is the first rookie in WNBA or NBA history to make 40 plus threes and win 15 plus games over a 16 game span. I definitely feel like they can even put her in the MVP conversation. We know she's going to be the rookie of the year. And it sucks too, because I'm not saying it sucks, but AZ Fudd injury definitely took her out of the argument. But I still feel like even with a healthy AZ Fudd, even though I know that helped Dallas Wings with her defense and her accurate pinpoint shooting, I just still feel like for what Olivia Miles did for a team who has Nafisa Collier, who was injured and at one point was an afterthought because they were playing so well. Now you got feedback, man, and you got one of the most dangerous teams in the league going into the playoffs. So I would like to say congratulations to her, and I definitely feel like she's going to be the rookie of the year, if not get some of those MVP votes as well. On that note, I would like to say it's been a cool show. Thank you guys for always chiming in and showing so much love. I'm so overwhelmed with the numbers that I've been getting, and for all the people who talked me into doing this. One of them was one of my homeboys. Shout outs to the whole Nighthawk Network crew. I remember I wasn't doing nothing, just kind of chilling at one point. And he was like, man, you want to get on and talk sports with me? And he put me back on to me doing what I love to do and doing podcasts. I appreciate that. My boy Jay Rule for putting me on too and getting me comfortable doing the podcast. Now I'm doing my production. And first and foremost, I would like to give love to my man Quincy Lewis as well, man, for even giving me an opportunity like this, man. And I'm always show him his flowers and give him his flowers pretty much for believing in me and giving me this opportunity. My boy Muhammad was one of the people who talked me into it. Mo and my boy Steve as well. They said, Hugh, we don't want to see you do nothing else unless you're talking sports and talking what you love to do. Get you a podcast. And my homegirl, Nicole Hembrick, man, she said, Hugh, everybody always asking you questions about things, man. Have you ever thought of doing a podcast? I had so many people telling me this that I had to slowly but surely get my equipment and get everything together. And here you have it. I got my own production now, the Guru Production, which I will be doing a lot more things with. I got a lot of surprises and things that I want to talk about that I will be launching. First and foremost, I got to get my money right. But besides that, I'd just like to say thank you all for showing me love and giving me the love and appreciation you guys been doing, man. It's been very overwhelming. I've been very humbled too for seeing the love and support of everybody. I want to start off by saying you can catch me on Hoovy, WHOOVI on Instagram, Facebook, Sports Guru to you. And I put a lot of breaking news on there. And I even been putting news on my own, daily, DALELEE, my other main Facebook page to show people, because I know a lot of my homeboys want to get more breaking news, and I wanted to give them that as well. Hugh.lee6 is my TikTok page, and I appreciate you guys for the highlight reels and the different promos that I've been putting up and showing the love and support as well. And last but not least, I definitely want my page to pick up a little bit. It kind of fizzled out a little bit as my YouTube page, and that's Hugh Lee. You can hit me up in the comments too. Tell me what you want to see, what you don't want to see, and what you want to see more of. I definitely appreciate that as well. And I feel like the more you communicate, the more I can go and put out some of my best work possible. And on that note, I would like to say peace, and you all know who my love and support come from. I appreciate you all, from my high school homeboys to my work pals from Lowe's, Home Depot, the Home Depot break room cut. I appreciate everybody for showing y'all love, because I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't have, the motive to get up here and talk to you guys and just let you know how much I appreciate you. But I'm a huge sports fan, and right now, this is what I like to do. So thank you and have a blessed day. And until maybe Friday or Saturday, like I said, it's up to you. If you want to hear more this week, hit me up in those comments. Until then, good day.